wanna fall in love. I wanna fall in love. I wanna be.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to talk to you about a new foundation that I got. There is so much hype surrounding this foundation. Like, everybody that I've seen has absolutely loved it. And so of course I had to try it because, I mean, why not? It is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I got mine in the shade Ivory. I mean, there's nothing else that I can do but just like jump into a demo, show you how this foundation applies, and then we'll be back and I will talk to you a little bit about... Really? I will talk to you about it a little bit after. So I have already primed or moisturized my face. The primer that I'm using is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I have this little tiny baby tube. I got it as a sample from Sephora, I believe, but I love it. I'll probably be buying a full size of it, and honestly that mini size has lasted me for a long time so far. The foundation brush that I'm going to use is the Urban Decay Optical Blurring Brush. I'm really loving this foundation brush. It gives you a much fuller coverage than, say, your Beauty Blender would. I use the Beauty Blender pretty often, but it definitely shears out a foundation more than a brush would, and I've been wanting more of a full coverage recently. So let's get started. I'm just going to put a little pump on the end of my brush and just kind of dot it all over my face. And then we'll just start buffing this in. When I got this foundation, and like I ordered it online, and I got it in and it was so yellow. I ordered it in the shade Ivory, and it was so yellow, and I was pretty afraid that it was going to be too yellow for my skin. Turns out that this yellow foundation has matched my skin probably better than any foundation that I have used. So it could be that I misjudged what my skin tone is. I was convinced that I had a cool skin tone with like pink undertones, but this foundation matches so much better than any foundation that I've used. Okay, I've got that blended in pretty well. I do like to take just a little bit extra on the back of my hand, and just so that I can get a fuller coverage with it. Again, we'll just dot it on the places that I want more coverage. Buff it in. Da-da-da. I really love this foundation and this brush together. Like, this foundation gives you like the most beautiful coverage and finish that I have ever seen. I normally use the Naked Skin foundation from Urban Decay, and I fell in love with it the first time I tried it, and I thought that I wouldn't use another foundation like ever, that was going to be the foundation for the rest of my life. And then I started hearing some good things about this Born This Way foundation from Too Faced, and I decided I had to try it. And I went to Sephora and they didn't have it because it wasn't out in stores yet, so I had to order it. So there you go. I just love the finish that this foundation gives you. It's not like a matte finish, and it's also not a dewy finish. I don't like a super dewy finish. I have combination skin and I tend to get oily in my T-zone, so dewy finishes are not so fantastic for me. Yeah. I have a crappy camera, so this is not, you're not going to see just like exactly how beautiful this foundation is. Like, honestly, I have never used a foundation that just like, it looks like your skin, but it covers and it has this kind of glow to it without being dewy. It's just a beautiful foundation. I am in love with this foundation, and I doubt that I'm going to be grabbing any of my other foundations anytime soon. I'll probably just be using this one mostly. But I'm going to go finish the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back. Okay, so you saw me put it on. I've kind of talked about it a little bit as I was doing it, but let's just really talk about it a little bit more. Let's start with just the packaging itself. It comes in a frosted glass bottle. It's a beautiful bottle, I think. Like the black and the gold, just, I'm a sucker for black and gold packaging. The glass bottles I love. The only thing is you will have to be a little bit more careful with a glass bottle during travel. But I like it. The best thing about it, though, of course, is the pump. I think the pump is really easy to control. You can get out a lot of product, or you can just kind of like get out just a little bit of product. The pump is really nice. I really like it. All in all, the packaging is definitely an A in my book. Love it. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels sturdy and nice, and I love it. The formula of the foundation is everything to me right now. Like, I love this foundation so much. The finish it gives is just so nice. Like I said before, it's not a dewy finish, it's not a matte finish, it's somewhere in between, and it just has this like almost like a glow to it that is just so beautiful and so natural, and I can't get enough of it. The only thing that I put a little powder on top of it, only in my T-zone, because I do tend to get a little oily in the T-zone, but the rest of my face I don't usually set it with anything, and it really wears really nicely. You can set it if you want. There's just not, it's not one of those foundations where you just absolutely have to set it. This foundation is so great. Now, I will say that when I ordered mine, I was looking online at swatches, and the porcelain, which is pink toned, is the one that I would have normally gone with, but it looked a little too dark for me. And so I decided to try, like, give the Ivory a shot, and I kind of thought that this might not be the foundation for me, because I wasn't going to be able to get the right shade. I got this foundation in from Sephora, and it was so yellow, and I was like, this is going to be awful. I'm going to just look like this big yellow, like, I'm going to look like Pac-Man walking around. And decided to give it a shot anyway. I put it on, and it literally looks so much better than any foundation that I've ever used. I have always used pink tone foundations because I thought that was the undertone of my skin. But since, you know, taking a closer look at my skin, looking online at ways to determine your skin tone, I've decided that instead of a pink tone skin, I just have neutral to yellow skin tone. I'm neutral, but I lean towards the yellow undertone side. And what was making me think that I was pink tone was the redness that my skin tends to have. So the yellow foundation just looks so much nicer than any of the other foundations that I've used. So for many years I have been using the wrong tone foundation. Thumbs up for me. But yeah, this foundation, I definitely would advise you to go to Sephora, swatch it, check it out, try it out. I don't think that you'll be disappointed, especially if you do like natural finishes. This foundation is gorgeous. It blends beautifully. It is a medium to full coverage foundation. Though I think if you used your beauty blender to put it on, then it would shear it out a little bit, so it would be more on the medium side rather than the full coverage side. I like to put mine on with, like I said before, my optical blurring brush from Urban Decay. Too Faced has really nailed it with this foundation, I think. So definitely go try it out, and I will see you guys later. Bye.
I wanna fall in love. I wanna be